man, you know how it is, everybody. I absolutely love starting new projects in this world. It's what I live for. You know, those new ideas, that fresh new excitement of starting a new project, you just can't beat it. Finishing projects, yeah, I could live without it. But I always have that guilt, you know, that feeling in the back of my mind that, oh, maybe I'm letting you guys down. Maybe I should work on the old projects and get them done. And that's a good thing, because otherwise I would be totally out of check and just starting new projects all the time, which I sort of already am. But I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good. We finished the Dragon Egg Room last episode. That was a long-standing unfinished project, and the guilt has subsided. So today we are starting a new project, and not just any project. I want to start a new storage room, and we're gonna call it the Endless Storage Room. Yeah, so this is not just your ordinary on the whim sort of project. No, this is number 2 of the 3 big projects I've been planning for years here. Like, pretty much since the Nexus got built, I've been thinking about storage, where it went wrong and all that kind of stuff. Tinkering and creative when I have a new idea. And finally, all the pieces have come together, and I think I know exactly what we need to do to make this work. And to be honest, I'm kind of kicking myself because it's actually really simple. Oh, why did it take me so long to figure this out? But yeah, it's going to be really cool once we get this done, because it's going to be almost like a no time wasted with items anymore. It's like a turning point in the Let's Play if we can get this built and working the way I think it should, because I won't be spending hours looking for stuff, putting it back, going out to get it. It's just going to happen. And that frees up a couple hours every episode where I can spend more time building or doing whatever, right? So we're going to make this high priority project. My goal for this episode is just to introduce it to you, kind of explain it, go over some of the features, maybe some of the problems I had with the designing, as well as we got to prep the area for it. And we also need to collect materials to build it. I put together a shopping list kind of here. The number on the right is the number of stacks we need. This one here is what I'm most concerned about. Hoppers over 5,000. I don't know how much leg that's going to cost. Now, you might be wondering, Etho, why did you choose to call it the Endless Storage Room? Good question. Well, like a lot of my unfinished projects, the building process on this is probably going to be endless. Let's face it. Hopefully not, though. My plan with this is we're going to go hard into building it here for 3 episodes, hopefully, is all it will take to get it up and functional, bare bones working. And then we're going to take a break from it, and later we'll come back and add the additional systems to it, try to make it look nice, and all that kind of stuff. The extra stuff will come later. And honestly, it's going to take a while to get it all done, because it is a big, big project. Other reason for the endless name is because it holds about 250,000 of each item that we're going to store in it, and I'm planning 432 unique items currently. But it will be future expandable, so like endless amount of items can fit in it. But the main reason it's called the Endless Storage Room is because we're going to be building it in the end. That's right. So the idea with this, there's over 100 strongholds in your world, kind of scattered throughout. So if we're ever out in the world like 30,000 blocks away, chances are there's going to be a stronghold within a couple thousand blocks of that, and we can just set our spawn, hop through the end portal, pick up items or drop them off here, and then when we go through the end portal again, we will be back where we set our spawn. So by doing it that way, this storage room will be accessible from many different locations in our world instead of just one. Okay, first item on our shopping list we're going to collect here is the cyan clay. We need 81 stacks, or 3 shulker boxes full at the minimum. Probably will be grabbing a little bit extra just in case. To be honest, I think most items on our list are going to go pretty quickly here because, you know, 81 stacks sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It goes pretty fast when you're instant mining and stuff. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is a great example of how I want to run my world going forward. Like this building in Sandy City, I've been using it as our main dye warehouse. Like I filled up these barrels with dyes, so if I ever need them, this is where I go. Even though we're building a new storage room, which we will want to have dyes at as well, I'm not going to take all the dyes out of this building and move them to that new storage room because I want this building to keep its function. And we have a lot of examples of that in our world where we'll have multiple caches of items, and I think that's fine. Now, if you've ever wondered, where do I get my green dye from? Well, we actually have another pyramid built, right over there, a little one. It's a cactus pyramid. This is a redesign of the very first farm I ever built in Minecraft. Back in the day, back in alpha, back before the Let's Play was a thing. I had this in my world, and we rebuilt it in episode 400 and something of this Let's Play. Exactly as it was in the past, pretty much. And it's still serving us to this day, that design. Amazing. It didn't have hoppers and shulker boxes, though, back then. And also, it's terribly inefficient. I haven't used this thing in forever. I don't even know what the light does. I forgot. Why don't I smelt things anymore? It's like I don't need to. Oh, spooky storm. You know, I think I remember. The light indicates if the furnaces are running low on bamboo. I want to redesign everything. Like, this is fast, but I know we could make it so much faster. All right, we got the green all refilled here, a little bit of cyan left, and we got the cyan clay ready to go. My main storage room these days is this ender chest system. So if you're not familiar with this, we keep shulker boxes in our ender chest, and I tried to arrange them so we have a stack of every important item in the game in our ender chest, arranged in categories of 27 different items. I tried to put them into some sort of a group so I can quickly figure out where they are in my ender chest when I need them, and they're color coded and all that stuff. Now, I did this back in 1.16, and it could really use an update, like a refinement, because new blocks have come out and I haven't really done it properly. I just sort of patched them in as I could. There's also the redstone box, there's plant boxes. You can see we're missing some of the plants here. As I use up my items, you see we're kind of running a little bit low on the glass in this one. All we have to do is go to our storage room, and we have a box ready to go here, just waiting. We pop this one out, we put the one that needs a refill in, and then it automatically starts refilling the items in here because we have them in the hoppers all around it. So I think it was about a couple years ago now that I first tried out this whole ender chest storage idea where we have that automatic refilling station, and I gotta say, I love this thing. I'm so hooked on it. I don't think I could ever use another storage room now. Like, if you think about it, it's so nice. It's instant item retrieval pretty much. All we gotta do is break the box and replace the old one, and we don't have to wait for the items to flow in it or anything like that. If I ever go do a build somewhere, I don't need to think like, oh, I need 32 repeaters, 16 pistons, a stack of dispensers. No, I just have them with me in the box. There's no like planning for what items I need. I just have them. And it's like, oh, guess what? I'm out and about. I got my storage room with me wherever I go because it's an ender chest, right? Which is super nice. And as well, if we look at the sheep farm we built last episode as an example, I would guess there's probably 100 different blocks in this build. And, you know, that takes a bit of planning to gather all that stuff to get it together. Guess what I did? I just went over here, I put down my ender chest, I had everything with me. Except I had to grab anything that we need more than a stack of. Like, I need to grab packed mud, I think I grabbed bamboo, bricks for the pots here, and moss. And that was pretty much all I needed to get extra in order to build this entire thing. Like, I had the glass with me, I had the wool with me. All the little decorative things were in the ender chest, and I could also experiment and try like, oh, what flowers do I want to use? It's not like I just brought one type of flower with me and, you know, that's the one we're using. I could try out the different ones as I was building this, which is very nice when experimenting with details and stuff. And then it's like, I don't have that shulker monster to deal with when I'm done building, because I just put down a couple different boxes with the stuff in. When I'm done building, I put whatever is left in my inventory back into the boxes, and then I break the boxes, put them in my ender chest, and we're done. There's not like this giant mess of a cleanup that needs to be sorted out afterwards, right? You just put them back in here, break your ender chest, you're done. Now, that all being said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, this ender chest idea is the greatest thing ever. It's flawless, perfect. Can't complain about it at all. No, I've identified probably 3 main issues with it, and the whole goal of this new storage room is to take the ender chest idea, make it the main feature, and try to address those 3 main problems. And I think I've come up with pretty perfect solutions to 2 of them, and like a so-so solution to the 3rd one, which I don't think I can make better. So the first main problem I've identified is, number 1, it doesn't have an auto sorting feature. So if I ever need to refill these things, like, oh, we're running low on hoppers, I'm the one that has to manually put the stuff in here and organize it, and I'm the one doing it, right? We can't just put shulker boxes into an unloader somewhere and have it do it for us. The other big problem is it doesn't handle bulk very well. We're limited to pretty much like 9 to 12 stacks of items at most. Like, I give them 9 spots, and this bottom row is overflow. As we get too much of something, I can put a little extra down there. But yeah, 9 stacks is pretty much a limit. And then what do? We got to find other places for our storage, which is kind of why you see all these random shulker boxes everywhere in my world still. The other third problem is, like, if we do need more than a stack of something, what do? We can't just use the auto refiller. We have to grab it from somewhere. And usually I just fly up here, pull it out. Oh, I need 3 stacks of grindstones. I'll bring them with me. And then when I'm done, I have to manually put them back. Yeah, so the sorting problem and the bulk problem are somewhat related. Basically, if we try to add on to our storage device in any way, it's going to break. Because we're sort of cheating with it already. You're never supposed to do this and try to put 5 different items into a hopper, because it just doesn't work. Like, if you try to do that with a standard item filter, for example, what happens? Well, if I put a full stack of calcite in there, it's fine because it's the first item and it's working just as you would expect. So then what happens if, let's say, we then try to filter some sea lanterns in here? Well, this number is going to tick down until it hits nothing, basically. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, and there goes the rest of our item filters. So it'll mess up all the item filters. You can only do one, is the problem here. Because now whenever we try to add something to the storage, it doesn't have the information there anymore. And it's just going to fill up with something. And eventually your hoppers end up just being filled up with one item. And same deal with our ender chest system. We have 5 different items in this hopper, and the only reason this works is because I'm manually putting the items in the double chest. If we ever tried to automatically do it with a hopper, let's say we just wanted to add more storage and increase the bulk of our system, by doing this, we got the 5 different items in here, and the 5 different items in here. It seems like it would work, right? Well, no. What ends up happening is this hopper is just going to fill up with the first item available. It'll fill up with the calcite, and then let's say I start using up the gravel in the system. Guess what? This gravel is never going to get into there. It's just going to fill up with calcite and whatever comes first, and eventually you get to the point where there's just one item left in the system as well. I'm just going to bring you all into the old creative copy of our Let's Play world where I do some of my experiments, and this is where I figured out how to do the item sorting for our ender chest system. As we saw in our previous experiment there, we can't have a hopper feeding into another hopper. If we do that, it will eventually lose its item filter information. So instead, we need to go from storage to hopper and curate the storage device. And we kind of need it to be movable as well. So that's why we're using a storage minecart here. We need to ensure that storage minecart has one of each of the unique items we're trying to put into our shulker box here. And we do that by running it underneath 27 hoppers. Each of these will have a unique item in. As it passes by, it only grabs one. And then it delivers that to our shulker box over here. And all the hoppers. And it does it nice and slowly, so it has time to drop stuff off as it goes by. And that way it'll refill at a decent rate. And then up here, this acts as our bulk storage. So all we got to do is build one of your standard item sorting devices with standard item filters to separate the 27 unique items into their proper places, right? Then we'll also be able to manually access these. And I'm hoping that by having some kind of manual access to our items will be like a so-so solution to when we need to pick up a lot of something. Like if we need more than a stack of something, we can still run into our storage room, open up a barrel, grab the stuff, and run out, or drop it off that way too. If we're, like, let's say the item sorter is backed up for some reason, we can still have that option of going into the storage and dropping it off or picking it up, which I think will be good. Now, ideally, I would love it if this stuff could all get delivered to us instantly as much as we want without ever thinking about it. But there's like certain compromises you have to make in making storage rooms. Like, what do you truly value? Because the more complicated something gets, the bigger and more laggy it needs to get as well. And more expensive and time consuming to build. And then you need to start setting up chunk loaders so your systems don't break when chunks unload. And, you know, you got to draw a line somewhere. My plan for this is to set up like soul soil or something so we can still run around the storage room quickly, grab our stuff quickly, and we'll also probably want to mark the chests with whatever's inside. So let's say it's spruce wood in the barrel. We'll have spruce wood outside so we can clearly visually see it and not have to like read signs or anything like that to find our stuff. And that's pretty much all there is to it, so it's going to be a pretty simple system actually. And we're back again in the Let's Play world here, just doing a little bit of trading with the villagers. We got to get a bunch of redstone as well as 3 shulker boxes full of glass for the storage room. We'll probably dye these light gray as well because I think it'll look a little bit better when it comes to building. Got a little extra redstone from the villagers as well, and I found some extra frog lights we didn't use just sitting around here. So that'll cut down on the 41 stacks we need to collect from our Froglight farm. So I definitely learned quite a bit from our Nexus build, the do's and don'ts of storage. And one of the big don'ts I don't want to repeat with this new storage room is don't just give a double chest worth of storage to all the items. Because what happened to me is my double chests, they filled up with like stone and dirt and netherrack. And then every time I'd use the Nexus, you know, there was no space for those items, so they would always end up in my overflow chest, and I would have to like manually move them around, and it was so annoying, right? So with this new storage room, I definitely wanted to have some pretty good bulk storage, a lot of space for the items, and I was ho-humming on how to do it for quite a while. Then we did this ultimate enchanting room build, and it kind of hit me afterwards. It's like, wait a second. This deep storage unit we put on here is perfect. This is exactly what we need for our storage room. I just kind of stumbled into it on this project, and it's like, okay, we'll just use that. But instead of having a debuckinator at the top there, we're going to have an item filter feeding into the shulker loader and then into the shulker unloader. So my usual format for these larger projects is to first plan out the idea, figure out what we're doing. Then you prototype the idea, which is what you see beside us here. Test out the prototype, and if it works, build it. This is for one item in our 432 we're trying to add to our storage room. So you tile this slice side by side here, 27 blocks long for a single group, and that was going to be our storage room, basically. Spoiler alert, this design doesn't work. But I'll just run you through it because it's a good example to show you what we need to do here. We have our dropper line at the top there, delivering the items to our Impulse standard 3-long item filter down there. So that sorts the items, then it puts it into a shulker loader down here. This is Borkon's 1Y tileable shulker loader. And then that puts items into shulker boxes. Those shulker boxes then get put into the chests there. Those are the 2 double chests I'm talking about that give us 250,000 item space. Every hopper and double chest we add would be another 100,000, but I felt this was a good amount for us. And then it goes down into my shulker unloader on demand to take the items out of the shulker box and deliver them into that hopper down there. And then our storage minecarts run underneath those hoppers, and they'll pick up the items and deliver to our ender chest shulker loader. And we're back into the test world once again, because I want to show you what went wrong with this design. Why didn't it work? It might save you a bunch of time in the future if it happens to you. Hopefully it never does, because I wasted hours on this thing trying to figure it out. You know, I had it all built nice and compact. I was happy with it, thought it was good to go. And then I got this lingering feeling in me. It's like, oh, I better test it a little bit more. And sure enough, there's like a 1 in 50 to 1 in 100 chance the shulker boxes are going to go out of place. With storage, you got to be especially careful, because if there's even a slight chance something could go wrong, or you might lose a shulker box somewhere, those are items gone forever. Like, you're going to start losing tons of items if you're not careful with your design. So I tested some more, and I found what was happening with the shulker loader. And this isn't a dig against this shulker loader design. I think it's one of the best ones, if not the best one out there. It's just all 1Y tileable shulker loaders seem to have this problem, unless you stagger the design, or I think you might need to lock the hopper in order to get around this problem. But basically, when this blue shulker box gets broken, there's hoppers underneath these comparators. Most of the time, like 50 to 100 times, it'll go into the middle hopper. But every once in a while, a rare occurrence, it'll jump to one of the side ones. And if that happens, those items are going to go out of place in my system, and it's going to throw everything out of whack. I'll show you a better example down here. This makes it nice and clear. So we got a shulker box going on a loop here. It's breaking and getting put into this hopper here. But as soon as this block breaks and we give it an opportunity to jump to the side here, it will eventually. Most of the time it'll go down the middle though. Oh, and now it's over here. Look at that. So then I decided, let's try out a whole bunch of other one-wide tileable shulker loaders, and surely we'll find one that works, right? Even this one, I thought for sure this style would work, because like, how is that shulker box going to end up in one of these side hoppers? Like, there's no space for it. As soon as it enters the cobweb down here, it's got to go in this hopper, right? Well, I've had even this one break on me. I don't know how. I didn't think it was possible, but given enough time, it will, I think. I've also had, like, I tried staggering this design that we had over here. Like, I moved it forward one and back one. I found even this blew my mind. The shulker box that's over here somehow jumped to this hopper while the shulker box was over here. Like, it jumped through the wall into this hopper. You gotta be careful. It turns out. Is this broken yet? Nope, still going. I'm gonna go get up and get a snack while this goes. No, what I miss here? Looks like it happened. Went into the left one there instead of the middle. I'm not sure if this is a problem that's been solved before, but if it is, I'm assuming the design is going to have to get a fair bit bigger. So in the end of things, I think we're just going to go with my 2-wide shulker loader we used in the ultimate enchanting room. I did notice a comment on that episode that, Etho, that's got a problem as well. Sure enough, it can break every once in a rare blue moon. So I ended up redesigning it, adding a block between the comparator and the shulker box so there's no free space for it to fly out of anymore, and that seems to have done the trick. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that little behind the scenes to the redstoning. Like, that's the actual process to figuring this stuff out, what needs to be done, and quite a journey it is sometimes. This is our final destination, though. This is our result, our final prototype that we're going with for the build. And I'm pretty happy with it. As far as I know, it has no chance of losing items. Everything's working perfectly. But the way these things work, you get it built and then you discover something new that's wrong with it. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So unfortunately, since it is a 2-wide design, it's going to be quite a bit bigger in this dimension, twice the size, right? Compared to the 1-wide. But this direction is actually quite a bit smaller. It's only 5 blocks wide at the base here, and we're going to be able to mirror this down this line. As long as we stagger it by a block. So 2 of these will fit within 10 blocks, and then we have the tunnel beside them. This is where we're going to access the goods we got stored, so we can grab individual items here or drop them off here. And then we also can get full shulker boxes filled of our items up in this dispenser or drop them off here as well. And yeah, we have another cool feature. Like, it's 5 blocks wide at the base here, but then as we get to the top, it gets a little bit fatter with the item filter. But that's not a problem because it's going to go over top our tunnel. So this is kind of like unused space over here. And it worked pretty perfectly. And then we have a reset line, which is going to be very convenient. So if we need to start up the system, there's no shulker boxes in the loader. We're going to hit this button and all of the shulker loaders will dispense a shulker box for us. If they don't have one, it's going to be kind of a smart system as well in that way. And likewise, our shulker unloader down here is going to have a reset line. So if for some reason there's a box missing, all the ones that are missing a box will get it placed. And I don't have to manually put them down when we're starting it up, or if there's ever a problem where it goes missing for some reason. Yep. So that's our plan, our design. Let me know if there's anything I'm overlooking, like if you can spot any problems with that design. Tell me now, please, in the comments. Or if you just have any ideas for it, because next episode I'm planning on building it. We want to start prepping our end. Like, I actually will want to start like developing our end, building cool stuff here if our storage room is going to be here. One of our goals today is to finish getting the rest of our portals. We only have 2. So I got to do a whole bunch of dragon fights here. I'm curious if these guys are going to be okay down here. Anything's going to get broken. I don't care if the dragon breaks that, he can clean it up for us. I haven't done a dragon fight in forever. I got an achievement, everybody. Very nice. Oh, I still got it. Look at me go. That's perfect. This one, way up there. Oh, I missed. There's a way to shoot these from the corner, right? Oh, yeah. Look at that. You don't even have to climb up. That's going to save so much time. Get over here, you sneak dragon. Yoink. How's everybody doing down here? My hoppers are still here. That's a good sign. Doing mid-air shots? What's happening there? Is that it? Oh, I think I did it, guys. I'm the best Minecrafter ever. I beat the game. Look at me. Oh, Yeah. I wonder, you know, I haven't tried yet. Does the Ender Dragon work with the new, like, Skulk stuff? Like, will it cause it to spread? I'm gonna have to test that out sometime. Oh. What in the world happened here? I don't think that was supposed to happen. I got a new portal, guys. No, boy. Okay. Not quite where I expected it to go. Now, I thought this was a little weird. This portal is putting me in the wrong spot before. Let's see if it's in the right place. No, it's still putting me on the chorus fruit. Aren't you supposed to, like, teleport, like, onto the bedrock there? Or am I mistaken? Uh-huh. Anyways. Can you pop them, like, right when they spawn? Oh, shielded. No, you gotta wait. Can you pop these ones? Oh, you can! What? Do you not get a dragon then? I think I canceled the dragon. I didn't know you could do that. So if you pop it mid-fight. But the portal came back, right? Like, it goes away when you place them. Oh, yeah, okay. Interesting. So you can cancel out. Never knew that. My favorite part of the dragon fight is just shooting the pillars. The rest of it, I could fall asleep for. Okay, second fight, and we still have not got a new portal. I'm getting a little nervous now. I think maybe it replaced this one, so it doesn't look like anything changed, and maybe on the third fight we'll finally get a new one. It's hard to say. My world's a little bit old and strange. Woohoo! Oh, that was dangerous, actually. Gotta be careful. One thing that's always impressed me is, like, some people are able to fight Endermen without taking any damage. I've always wanted to learn how to do that. Oh, yeah, new one over there. Look at that. Woohoo! Okay, so it's not glitched out. Very, very happy to see that. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so there's 20 of these portals in total. I think we got them all spawned in now, which is really cool. Our main island is like a big hub now. We can set up farms or different builds connected to it and teleport back and forth nice and easy. Today's comment of the day is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be fighting some dragons instead of just standing around doing nothing. So it's from Jared Lady Ensky 441, who says, what do you think about the villager changes? Good question. So if you saw the latest snapshot, Mojang had been experimenting with villagers, especially librarians, and I think they noticed that players were getting frustrated with re-rolling their book trades because it was random before, right? Or currently, I should say. And you know, that whole process of putting down the lectern, breaking it, putting it down, breaking it. You might do that 5, 10, 15 minutes just to look for a mending book, for example. Well, now it's more deterministic, so it's based on what biome the villager is from. So, for example, I believe a swamp villager always offers a mending book as their final book trade. It's guaranteed, which is pretty cool. And then jungle villagers have different trades, and the plains one has a different one, and you gotta choose that way what villager you're gonna go for first. What's most important to you? There's that choice there now, which I think is interesting. Also, it sort of comes into question, how are you gonna set up your trading hall? Are you gonna have them all together? Are you gonna move them all together from all the different biomes? That's quite the project if you are. Or are you gonna set up a trading hall in each of the different biomes? You know, it's up to you to decide that as well. I do kind of wish Mojang will make villager movement a little bit easier, like make it easier to move them around, because currently it's pretty frustrating trying to get them in boats or minecarts or whatever. I would like to see them maybe have the camels be able to carry villagers, and you could dismount them wherever you want, or at least get them to follow emeralds or something, because it's got to change. Also, they did somewhat nerf villagers in this update, so I don't know if you saw it, but like Unbreaking 3 isn't available anymore from the book trades. You can only go up to, I think, Unbreaking 2. So if you want Unbreaking 3, you'll have to combine them together, which will make the enchantment cost higher. Or you might just start using the enchanting table now, which I think would be a great thing. I actually preferred the enchanting table. I thought it was a more fun system, so I'm kind of glad they've put it together in a way where you might want to use both of them. They're sort of having both the game mechanics work together now, which I think is a better system. Like, you can enchant your tool and then add the books to it to refine it to more of what you want afterwards. I think is the way people do it mostly. So that's cool. And also, they didn't just do like a straight nerf, which I think is important. If they just did a straight nerf to things, then it would make it feel like players are just having their time wasted. So I'm glad they also changed up the mechanics a bit. They are nerfing villagers so that you can't just cure them to get their trade prices down to 1, and it's always stuck at 1 and super cheap. Now it's going to be more expensive, which I also think is a good thing, because I feel the villager trading should be a secondary system in the game for collecting materials, not the primary one. I think the primary one should be going out in the world, exploring, collecting stuff, playing the game, you know? You can get a shopping experience in any game you play, pretty much. But Minecraft is special, so I think you should get it from the world, not from a shop, personally. I would like to see them add maybe some, like if they're taking away from villagers some power, maybe they add power to collecting materials in the world in different ways. Like maybe they introduce a haste 2 potion finally, so that, like, let's say you're digging a tunnel. If you've ever tried to do that and you put down a beacon, it lasts for maybe 2 minutes and then you're past it. While a haste 2 potion, it would be way more convenient in some cases. So that's just a simple thing they could do to kind of balance things out a bit better, I think. Anyways, thank you for the question. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Until the next one, take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.